cat Pokemon are everywhere. They can be starters, they could be legendary, they can even be terrible. So today I will be using a full team of cat or feline Pokemon. And if you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. This theme team was suggested by Chaotic Necromancer, so thank you so much for the idea. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Now let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a cat or feline Pokemon team. I figured I'd have this idea down eventually. Let me know what you think of the new intro, by the way. I'm trying to change up my intro so it's not me saying, today I will be using a full team every video, right? So, leading things off here with my Torracat, a Choice Scarf Torracat. It wasn't really the best matchup into this Skeledirge, especially since Skeledirge is a very bulky Pokemon and it can keep boosting with Torch Song. So, I'm going to bring in my Mew now. Yes, Mew is a cat. I mean, its name is literally named after the sound cats make, right? I figured I had to include Mew on this team. So, this is a specially defensive Mew. I missed my Toxic though. I'm like, oh no, that sucks because obviously Skeledirge, like I said, is a very bulky Pokemon and I really want the Toxic damage up on this thing. So, yeah, I'm running a really interesting Mew set. This is a Toxic Psychic Noise, Rest and Sleep Talk Mew. It's a specially defensive wall, if you could believe it. So, I'm going to swap into my Persian on the Shadow Ball. Now, I'm running a Choice Band on this, so I thought, okay, well, if I can't Toxic it, I might as well try to trick it a Choice Band, right? Or Switcheroo, I should say. But the Staraptor comes in, I'm like, no, I don't want this thing to get a Choice Band. It's going to be really threatening. On the bright side, I do have a Choice Scarf on this now from the Staraptor, so now I'm running a Choice Scarf Persian, interestingly. So I'm running a U-turn on this. I have Double Edge, and I have a Bite with a Technician boost. So I'm going to intimidate this Staraptor and try to, mitigate this Pokemon's damage output. Oh my goodness, that Intimidate really mattered there because I lived a close combat at the very least. Now, I thought, okay, well, I know Flare Blitz may not take this out, probably. So I'm going to go into my Meowstic here. I actually U-turn anticipating them to want to swap out because they got the defense drop. But they don't know that I'm Choice Scarf on my Torracat. So in hindsight, I should have Flare Blitz. Now, this is an interesting Meowstic set. I have a Trick Ring Target on this. So I could trick away the Ring Target and be able to hit my immunities, right? So going for the Psychic here, I'm just going to go for a repeated Psychic versus this Skeledirge. I'm running an offensive Meowstic, and I'm running a Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Alluring Voice with Terra Fairy. So there goes my Meowstic to the Skeledirge, but the good thing is that I was able to get it down low enough for my Meowscarada to come in and get the Revenge KO. Now, this is a Protective Pads Meowscarada so that I don't have to get constantly whittled by Rocky Helmet because I'm running Triple Axle on this. And I'm running Knockoff as well. Oh, look, they have their own Meowscarada. And on this, I'm running Play Rough and U-turn. So I actually don't have Flower Trick or any grass moves on it. It's pretty interesting. I have Protein as the ability, of course, as well. So the Meowscarada is going to come in and U-turn on my Torracat, which I obviously was just sacrificing. And also getting the Intimidate drop. I chose Torracat over Incineroar just because well, I was gonna say Torracat is on all fours, and Torracat has cat in its name, but I'm literally using Meowscarada, and that Pokemon is a bipedal, so I really did not want to use Sprigatito though, that's for sure. So I'm gonna U-turn out. They swapped it into Pikachu, actually, interestingly. Pikachu was going to get absolutely destroyed by U-turn, so that's why I went for that. So back into my Persian here. I thought, okay, well, this is good. Now that I have the Choice Scarf, I'm actually going to be able to outspeed and Revenge KO the Staraptor with the Double Edge, so that's a pretty nifty KO. And that Choice Band Staraptor is going to be a huge threat. Speaking of huge threats, here's a Quaxclaval. So I'm going to get as much chip damage as I can with the Double Edge. It does a lot of damage, but they're going to take me out easily with the close combat. I was like, oof. Yeah, at least they didn't go for Aqua Step. At least they didn't go for Aqua Step to boost their speed. Because obviously this Pokemon can snowball very quickly, especially with a Moxie boost. So I was like, okay, well, unfortunately I don't have Flower Trick, so I thought, okay, my best bet here is to go for the Play Rough and do as much damage as I possibly can and probably take it out. But they're going to Terrasilize into a Water type. I'm like, oh no, what if I had Flower Trick for this? Unfortunately, I don't because it's me. But it's not gonna matter anyway because my Play Rough is gonna end up missing. I would have liked it to take out this Pokemon. I don't know if it would have taken it out after Terrasalization, but holy smoke! I I just get blown away by that close combat, even through the resist. I'm like, is this thing choice banded or something? Jeez, that did so much damage. So they're gonna get another Moxie boost, and now I'm gonna bring in my chien-pao. This is a pretty interesting chien-pao set. I ran it before. It's a special set. Yes, I know. Chien-pao has that sort of ruin ability. Really good for its attack. That's why I'm running a special set. So this set has Blizzard, it has Dark Pulse, it has Terra Blast Ground with Ground Terror, which I went for because I was like, okay, this meowscarada has to go for U-turn, and I really can't afford to lose this Pokemon. So I'm going to Terrasilize into a Ground type. I'm really behind at this point in the battle, so I'm like, okay, please land the Blizzard, and I do land the Blizzard, but the meowscarada's Focus Sash. I'm like, oh my goodness. I really hope they don't go for a Flower Drink, otherwise this Terra was really bad. But they do end up going for U-turn. I was like, yes, that's perfect, because I essentially was able to live the U-turn and put the meowscarada on a low amount of health, and I'm always able to outspeed it and take it out with the Dark Pulse if needed to. So Pikachu's gonna come in. There's no way. I don't even think this Pokemon is gonna be able to live a Dark Pulse, let alone a super effective Terra Blast Ground. So there goes that Pikachu. But props for using Pikachu, honestly. So they're gonna bring back in their Meowscarada. They actually had all 3 of the Gen 9 starters, interestingly. So I'm gonna be able to revenge KO that with the Meowscarada, not with the Meowscarada, with the Dark Pulse. Oh my goodness. So the last Pokemon is Clodsire. Now this was an issue. Now I'm gonna go for the Terra Blast Ground here. And I wasn't sure if the Clodsire was more specially defensive or defensive, but I do have, but they have Amnesia. Oh no, that's pretty bad. So I do have my Psychic Noise Mew though, and I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go hard into my Mew. I know that I'm risking like a potential like Earthquake or maybe like a Toxic, but they're gonna go for another Amnesia. Now, I'm gonna speed up this part of the battle because it was essentially me clicking Psychic Noise over and over and over again, hoping that the Clodsire never gets its recovery, and hopefully I'm able to take this out with a Terra Blast Ground or maybe even a Blizzard if it gets that desperate. Now, the thing about Psychic Noise is that it blocks recovery, and this Clodsire had Black Sludge, so I was able to stop the Black Sludge recovery, but at the same time I could also prevent it from going for actual recovery. So I thought, okay, they're going to go for +6 Amnesia. The thing is, the battle timer was also getting really, really low at this point, too. So I didn't want to go for Rest, because otherwise they probably would have been able to recover. And then I would have still won anyway, just because of the amount of Pokemon that I had left. But I wanted it to be, like, interesting, and I didn't want to resort to that. So I'm just going to keep going for Psychic Noises on the Clodsire, try to get it as low as I possibly can. They actually did go for a cheeky recover at one point, but they're going to have Earthquake, and with the toxic damage, that is definitely going to be enough to take out my Mew. But it's on a really low amount of health, and I'm really, really hoping that even at +6 special defense, my special chien-pao is going to be enough to take out the Clodsire, hopefully, because, you know, the battle timer is about to run out. So I'm like, okay, please take this out with the Terra Blast. It's going to be really, really close, because chien-pao's special attack is not really as good as his attack. And I do take it out. Oh my goodness, that had to just have been barely enough to take it out. That's special chien-pao for you. Hopefully you all enjoyed that first game, because we're on to the second game. Now, if you enjoy these battles, if you enjoy these theme teams, feel free to subscribe and feel free to hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. It really helps out this channel and helps me grow and get closer and closer to that pivotal 1,000 milestone. Now, leading things off here with my Meowscarada versus the Kricketune, because I really did not want Sticky Webs to go up in this game, so I thought the only way for me to probably prevent this is to go for the Terra Ice Triple Axle. I'm running Terra Ice on this to really boost the power of Triple Axle, but Kricketune is, oh my goodness, it's like super bulky. It's like, it probably is running max health. Obviously, if it's a Sticky Web lead Kricketune, it has to be running Focus Sash, right? So like my thought process there was like, I really need to Terrasilize this Pokemon immediately, because Sticky Webs is really bad into my team. Oh my goodness, I can't. That max HP really did matter in terms of getting up to Sticky Web. Now, I'm gonna swap in my Torracat on the Bronzong. I wasn't sure what this Bronzong was gonna do, if it was gonna just be like a Stealth Rock setting set, right? So I'm going to go for the U-turn here. I thought they would swap out against like a potential Flare Blitz, but they're just going to end up staying in. They're actually running a dual screens Bronzong, so I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna end up going for the knockoff here against this. Try to, you know, get rid of that Light Clay, because obviously I don't want to be dealing with dual screens on top of the fact that I'm dealing with Sticky Webs already. That's too much. So I'm going to take a lot of damage from that Body Press, but thankfully I do just live. Now, it doesn't have an item anymore, so I knew that knockoff was definitely not going to be able to take it out. So I'm going to swap out into my Meowstic. Now, the good thing about Meowstic here is that I have the Infiltrator ability, and that ability is going to allow me to ignore the light screen set up by this Bronzong. So I'm like, okay, that's really good. I don't have to worry about the dual screen. So they're going to swap out and sacrifice their Kricketune. But man, I was really banking on this Pokemon not having HP investment, but unfortunately, they did, and that allowed the Sticky Web to go up. So, I'm going to take it out with the Thunderbolt, and they're going to go into their Lucario. Now, I thought, okay, well, if it's Swords Dance, that's really scary, but if it's Nasty Plot, I should be able to handle it because of my especially defensive view, and luckily it is. So, I'm just going to get as much chip damage as I possibly can with the Psychic versus this thing, and they're going to go for that Flash Cannon, and oh my goodness, that is easily going to be enough to take out my Meowstic. I wonder who's going to get that nickname reference. I think only one person will, and I think they'll be really excited. So, going into my Mew here for, I nicknamed this I Love DVDs because, Mew can learn every single TM, right? So, they're going to continuously bombard me with Flash Cannons. My special defense, it allowed me to live that, and they're going to have a Life Orb as well, which is going to put them in range for the Psychic Noise to take them out. So I'm like, okay, that's good. I got rid of one of their sweeping threats in the light screen. That's really nice. So, I thought, okay, well, I'm probably not going to be able to rest up on the rest of their Pokemon, pardon the pun, just because everything is probably going to be able to outspeed me, like this Porygon Z, which is a really big threat when Sticky Webs are set up on the opposing side. So they're going to take me out with the Dark Pulse there, and I'm like, okay, well, I do still have my Choice Scarf, a Torracat, and under Sticky Webs, if they're running Timid, I should be able to speed tie them at the very least, and hopefully I win the speed tie and get as much damage as I possibly can with the Flare Blitz. So the Porygon Z is running a Life Orb. By the way, on this set, I'm running Outrage with Terra Dragon, and I'm running Crunch, U-Turn, and Flare Blitz, obviously with the Intimidate. So the Porygon Z is going to Terrasilize into a normal type. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is about to hurt me. So I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz on that. Luckily, I do win the speed type, but I get a critical hit. Oh, that was so nasty. That absolutely demolished this thing. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was definitely getting, like, absolutely nuked by a Tri-Attack. So, thank goodness I managed to get that KO. So, into the Gliscor. Now, Gliscor obviously is pretty infamous for its toxic heal shenanigans, right? So, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not sure if I should like switch out here, if I should just continuously go for the Flare Blitz. It's not really going to do too much depending on if the Gliscor is more defensive, which it typically is. So I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz, try to get as much damage as I possibly can. It doesn't really do that much, but chip is chip. And they're going to take me out with the Earthquake easily. Now, I was thinking, okay, well, I have my Blizzard chien-pao, amazing, in the back, and I also have my triple axle meowscarada. So this Pokemon isn't like the biggest threat, especially if they're not running any speed investment. I should be able to still outspeed it at the very least with my meowscarada. So they're gonna swap out and they're gonna go into their Bronzong again. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like even though I went for triple axle, I should be able to just outspeed and KO with a knockoff afterward anyway, especially since they don't have the reflect up anymore, right? So the triple axle, wow, this Pokemon takes it, and I'm just gonna be able to take it out with the U-turn this turn. Now, there goes the Bronzong. I don't have to worry about any dual screens anymore at the very least. It probably was running like Steel Beam or like maybe like Stealth Rocks. Thank goodness those didn't go up. So I'm gonna swap into my Persian here. In hindsight, I probably should have just swapped in my chien-pao, because there was a Pokemon in the back, the Weavile, that I was really threatened by, and Weavile was always going to outspeed me anyway because of the Sticky Web. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to go for the Choice Banded U-turn on this and go hard out into my Gliscor, oh my goodness. I'm going to go hard out into my chien-pao versus this thing. On this, I didn't mention this, but on this, I'm actually running an Endure Weakness policy set on this. It's pretty interesting. I did manage to get it like once, but it's really rare to proc on this Pokemon, especially since it's not exactly the most bulky Pokemon in the world. So I led the Blizzard, and I'm able to take out the Gliscor. That's really nice. Now, in comes the Weavile. They are just gonna low kick me, and that's gonna take me out, which is really unfortunate. Now, I was like, okay, this is really bad, because obviously the Sticky Webs is going to allow this Pokemon to outspeed everything on my team. So they're going to go for the low kick, but I live! Oh my goodness, this Persian lives! I'm like, okay, this is really good. I'm going to get that Choice Band double edge off. But they have a Focus Sash! Oh no! No! That's really unfortunate, and Oh my goodness, I took myself out with the recall, by the way. But to make matters worse, they're gonna pickpocket my choice band. Oh my goodness, that's like the second battle in a row where me giving away my choice band ended up being really hurtful. Not that it mattered anyway, because obviously I'm gonna get outsped anyway. But still, there really wasn't. I don't think there was a way for me to prevent the sticky webs other than potentially like freeze hacking with like Blizzard chien-pao. But anyway, those were both of the games. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this team. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.